Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be playing and possibly finishing Dredge. I don't know how long it's going to take, so I mean it's potentially going to be quite a short episode, depending on what happens next. I guess we start by going to hand in the pocket watch. We'll look at our pursuits as well, because just in case there's anything here we haven't done. It's just the search for the relics, isn't it? Everything else we've done. The messages, we found 11 of 12, so there's one we've missed somewhere. Not quite sure where. Hopefully it's nothing too important. What was this thing? Deep sky, deep forever. What does that mean? Casket seal broken. Fog core? What does that mean? 5 equals rise. He knows. Don't get it, I'm afraid, that one. Just wondering if there's... Is there anything here that might shed some light on anything? I'm not sure. Hopefully the one we missed isn't too key. So we didn't get all the fish. We got a lot of them. 26 we didn't. So we caught what, just over 2/3. So probably about 70% of the fish, something like that. That's not too bad. We did look for these towards the end of the last episode. It is nocturnal though. I think we were there at night. Just didn't see it. But I guess without further ado, we should probably do this thing. Yeah, probably the workshop. Can we get in there still? Go inside. It's locked. Okay. Alright, well, let's head into the ruined mansion then. You climb the steps to the old mansion. The waves swelling and crashing against the basalt columns that surround you. You pause before crossing the threshold. Deliver the relic. He approaches, drawing closer with an incessant ticking. You have the pocket watch. You take out the watch. Its once frozen hands are now inexplicably twitching in a rhythmic struggle, trying but failing to move forwards. You place it in front of the collector. Though it has been some decades since I last laid eyes upon this, the sound of its mechanisms has grown no less unpleasant. And with that, our collection is complete. I must admit I am surprised. I did not think you had the determination for such a job. Now, with these 5 relics in our possession, 5 equals he rises. Okay, yeah, that relates to that. Only one thing remains. I suspect you know by now. I think I know. We must make one final voyage. This time, I will be with you. I guess I'm ready. Warning, you're entering the final phase of the game. Your progress will not be saved from this point onwards. Do you wish to continue? Let's do it. Warning, one more time. Your progress will not be saved. Yes, well, it's good they ask you twice, because, you know, you may mistakenly click something and it doesn't lock you in. Yes. The relics are coming with us. We should wait for the fog to thicken. With luck, the seas will remain unaware of our intentions. There we go, waiting for night time. Waiting for midnight, perhaps. 1 AM. Now, our destination is the open expanse to the west of Greater Marrow. It is marked on the map. We must not tarry on the open waters, not with such a significant cargo. Make haste. He's on board, but he's not in the is he in the net? He's not in the cargo hold, that's for sure. All right, let's have a quick look at the map then. Oh, okay, it's just there. It's pretty close. So we'll head due west for a bit, and then north. Ow. Oh, well, yeah, it's on the map, and also it's right there. I think we could probably do without the winch. Let's put my big light on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, look, the time's not advancing. Well, here we go. This is the place. This is where she was taken from us, and where we can at last bring her back. Only here, and only because of what we've achieved. He opens the book and begins to read aloud. To release a lost one, frozen in time. He throws the pocket watch overboard. And tethered by chains in the deep, he throws the necklace overboard. Bind them to this world once more. He throws the ring overboard. Open the door to the starry heavens. He slots the key into the lock of the music box. And I lay the weary world to rest. He throws the music box overboard, its key left unturned. Oh, hello. Oh, what is that? Okay. Well, that's the end. Shit. Look at that. Everything's on fire. I'm wondering if this is one of different endings. I guess we'll see. I mean, I hope it is, because I seem to have doomed the town and possibly the world. So what I'll do is I'm just going to have a look up and see if there is an alternative ending, a good ending, and if we can achieve that. I wasn't presented with any choices here in the ending that I saw, so I'm hoping that there is. But yeah, well, I'll have a look, and then after I've done that, I'm going to sort of provide some final thoughts, which are all going to be very positive, to be honest, because this was a very, very, very good game. And honestly, when I come to do my game of the games of the year list, I'd be very surprised if this A wasn't on it, and B possibly even at the very top of it. But yeah, let me just check. Well, we'll skip. Probably goes back to the main menu. Yeah, let me just check what's going on. Okay, yeah, there is a good ending, and we were kind of on the path of a lot of it when we went to speak to the mayor and then the lighthouse keeper. So if I do continue, we should go back to the Blackstone Isle dock, I suppose. It says we should confront the... Hang on, let's put the pocket watch in storage, because we've spoken with the lighthouse keeper. It says we should confront the collector. Oh, okay. Because when we had it in our cargo hold, he kind of just went straight into like the spiel, didn't he? Well, let's do this. Tell me more about that book of yours. Which book? This one here? With a wry grin, he pulls a dusty tome from the nearest shelf and glances at the cover. There's really not much to be said of Histories of the Grey Isles. It's quite a chore. Don't play dumb. You know which book I mean. Play dumb? Oh, your hypocrisy is wearying. I suppose we must go through this rigmarole yet again. The Book of the Deep appears... Sorry, it's not his voice. The Book of the Deep appears in his hands, sheathed in its dirty crimson jacket. Go ahead. Ask us. Where did you get it? Sparkling dust motes hang in the air between you. Don't you remember? You were there. The air around the book begins to pulse rhythmically like a quickening heartbeat. So was she. Who? You wanted to forget. Begged me. The room bristles. This is what you asked for. Give me the book. Your words hang in the space between. You won't change a thing. The book is ours. Step closer. You take a step closer through the crackling room. The collector lurches forwards in response. What can you possibly hope to achieve? Take the book. You strike out with your right fist, punching hard into the jaw of the collector. His face shatters and falls to the ground. It's a mirror. So it was us. Okay, so speculating here. So he was married to the woman who made the notes. We kind of deduced that. And she died. I think we've been able to deduce that as well. So maybe he's found this book or some way of kind of losing that memory just because it was too painful, and maybe he's split into the fisherman and the collector, one of whom is trying to reassemble these artifacts. You're pathetic. The Book of the Deep is in your hands. Understand this plainly before you sink us into despair. I know how to bring her back. It's all right there on the pages, and now you've seen its power firsthand. We wield the power to release her from her slumber. Find her last relic and we can undo everything. Undo what you did. Okay. Right. Okay, so what's the next stage? Do we give it back to him? There we go, let's keep talking. I don't understand. Who are you? I am what was fractured from you on that day you dredged the depths. I am what could be. I am your breathless self. You mentioned saving someone. Yes, she will rise from the deep. The book describes it. We almost have all of the pieces, just one more. Do we give it back to him then? What happens if we do this? You climb the broken steps of the old mansion, the waves swelling and crashing against the basalt columns that surround you. You pause before crossing the threshold. Deliver it again. He approaches, drawing closer with an incessant ticking. You have the pocket watch. You take out the watch. Its once frozen hands are now where we read this before. And with that, our collection is complete. Only one thing remains. Know what? It will become apparent soon enough. We must make one final voyage. This time I will be with you. Okay, so apparently we need to take this book back to the lighthouse keeper. So let's actually say we need some more time to prepare. So be it. Return when you are prepared. So let's do that without smashing into the rocks this time. Lighthouse keeper.
What is it?
I have the book.
You've had it this whole time, have you not? Oh, it doesn't matter. Make the most of this window of lucidity. Now is the time to act. Do you still remember where it happened? In that gloomy darkness behind the bay? When you're ready, I'll point the way.
Yeah, I'm ready. Entering the final phase of the game. Yes, we're gonna go into the final phase again.
We must wait until night is thickest, till the ocean is as it was all those years ago.
What I'll do before we set out, I'm going to read the journal entries again.
It's time. I'll point the way. Follow my light. Go and do what's right for her. Throw it back.
Okay, let's quickly have a look at our notes again. Let's read them in order. We're engaged to be married. He sailed us out to the very centre of Stellar Basin to see the lights. We talked for hours, something we've not done in such a long time. Waiting and hoping. Some time past midnight, as we were growing delirious and hysterical from the lack of sleep, the aurora shimmered into the skies above. When I turned to see his reaction, he was already down on one knee. I cannot even remember what he said or what I said, but I know that I said yes. The ring is beautiful, with a span of jewels going right the way around. I cannot take my eyes off of it. P.S. I was not sure whether to write this under yesterday's date or today's, given that it occurred at the conjunction of days. But I feel that the news is significant enough to warrant spanning multiple entries. Yesterday was the reading of his mother's will. Most of the remaining estate went directly to him, of course, but to my surprise, she bequeathed me her pocket watch. Curious. I am not fond of the thing, but I know that taking it will mean a lot to him. I cannot help but feel a disunveiled jab at me from beyond the grave. She was the type to do such a thing. Was I late on some occasion? I cannot recall. Morning of the second day of the honeymoon and our first day proper. Today we're sailing around the islands and inlets at the back of Greater Marrow. I love the rocks here. The layers and colours are so striking. Furthermore, the fishing is relatively poor in these shallows, so I know he will keep his hands on the wheel instead of the rods. He renamed the boat last night, Julie. I guess that's her name. He did a fancy renaming ceremony and everything. I think he took that more seriously than the wedding. Supposedly it's very important to perform it correctly, lest you want ill fortune to follow the vessel. He wanted to throw away everything with the old name on it, but I kept the keychain. Ocean's Riches was a good name. I think he has prepared a surprise picnic lunch. I can see the basket half hidden, stuffed under a blanket at the front of the cabin. I love it when he tries to be romantic. We had a slight accident yesterday around the shallows at the back of Greater Marrow. A rock seemingly appeared out of nowhere and struck the front of the boat. It did not penetrate the hull, but it jostled us around and a few items fell overboard into the water. We did not see what they were, which is of some concern, but we believe all important articles are accounted for. He's been checking over some notes from the boat renaming ceremony. He is paranoid that he performed the steps incorrectly. I've never known him to be so superstitious. Some bad luck following them. He still refuses to take me aboard when he is working. He's convinced that I will find it dull, or that the crew will be crass or otherwise intolerable. Perhaps I'm being overly needy. I know he needs time alone, but I'm so desperately bored at home when he's away. He recently installed some salvaging equipment onto the boat. I think the idea of pulling up treasure is terribly exciting. I must convince him to let me have a go. I've not written in a few days. I've been afflicted with some strange chill which conspires to fog my brain. I cannot seem to keep warm no matter what I do. The ink has run from some lines here and they are illegible. Most of what they hauled up was junk. They eventually came up with a large wooden casket. That's the music box, I think. A hush came over the crew at such a tantalising discovery. I remember the next moments with excruciating clarity. He pried it open easily. The buckling boards cracked and groaned with relief as they splintered apart. Crimson cloth spilled out onto the deck. The crashing waves rose to fill my ears. I hear them still. It's the book, actually, I think, isn't it? He stared down into the open casket, then turned to me. In his eyes I saw the void. Feels like years since I've been warm. I do not expect him to write. I just know that he thinks of me from time to time. I need to know that he thinks of me from time to time. He must return. I've written him another letter. This will be the last one. My darling, I found you at last. When you left, I was scattered to the winds, but now I feel almost whole again. There is just one thing left to do. Throw me back. Interested in hearing theories about what happened to her. Because I'm not entirely sure, I must confess. And these receipts and stuff. Okay, so... not quite sure what that is. But casket seal broken, fog course. So I think when he opened that wooden casket and had the look of the void in him, he released the fog that strikes the islands. 5 equals rise. Well, we know that when he chucks 5 things in the water, it summons something. And he knows. Okay. Intriguing stuff. But we're undocking, aren't we? So let's go. I think it's the same spot as before, only this time the lighthouse keeper is the one showing us the way. here we go. Hopefully this is a good ending. This is the place. Throw it back. The book struggles in your grasp, its weight somehow shifting from side to side. Silver ribbons flail pathetically against your fingers. Throw it back. You hold it high above your head. A low groan rumbles from the book, echoed by another from the depths. Throw it back. You throw it into the foaming water. Hello. Wow, okay, so that's the big things we saw off way out into the ocean. So I guess they're both down there, but evil being doesn't rise from the sea and devour everything. The town looks a little bit happier now in this ending, I must admit. And obviously a slightly bittersweet ending for us, I suppose, in that so the story seems to be that somehow he lost his wife. I'm not quite sure how, so if anyone has any theories as to that, I'd be very interested to hear what they think. I mean, if you've watched this series, you've seen and read as much as I have. But however it happened, so he lost his wife, and it's something so he got this book. Somewhere in this book, he maybe found a way to bring her back, and it required bringing back all the artifacts, so like her wedding ring, a necklace, I don't know if that was referred to, the music box, the pocket watch was bequeathed to her, we know, by her mother-in-law, I think it was. And then, in getting her back, which was his endgame, he unleashed this great evil. But then in this ending, by throwing the book back with the secret of how to bring his wife back, he stopped that happening, but died himself. So he sort of ended his life to save everyone else, I suppose. So yeah, a little bittersweet. But in a way, I guess his suffering is over, you could argue. But yeah, that was Dredge, and I think it's a cracking game. It's probably taken me about 14 hours, I would say, in total. You could easily stretch it out longer if you were trying to be a bit of a completionist and track down all the sort of species of fish that sort of evaded me. You could also do a lot more sort of dredging of materials and try and research everything. And yeah, sort of build all the last upgrades on the ship. But I could have done that, but honestly, I didn't feel like it was necessary at that point. Like, we weren't really fishing anymore. I mean, we had over $4,000 in the bank come the end. So the extra hold space wasn't necessary, and the one extra lamp spot, I mean, not really. It might have got an achievement for it, I suppose, but I didn't feel like I needed to be a completionist about it for this series, and hopefully that was okay with you guys. But let me know what you think in the comments. I think, as I said earlier in this episode, I'd be very, very surprised if come the end of the year, start of 2024, if this isn't... It'll definitely be on my best games of the year list. I mean, I'm pretty confident in that. There's a good chance it'll be my best game of the year, but we'll find out in like another 8 or 9 months or so. Lots of good stuff coming out, incidentally. But yeah, so I'll just lastly say thanks very much for watching this series. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, then please hit the thumbs up button in this video. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the endings, both endings. Any thoughts about the series, the game, this playthrough, anything like that. It'd just be great to have your thoughts. And lastly, if you're watching this and haven't subscribed to the channel as yet, then please do so. It'd be great to have you on board. So one last time in this Dredge playthrough, thanks very much, and I'll hope to see you elsewhere on Boring Dad Gaming for other series. In terms of what we got coming up, I think, although at the moment I'm filming this, it hasn't been released as yet. On the 6th of April, Everspace 2 is coming out. I had bought that in early access a long, long time ago. I only played a little bit of it, just enough to know that I really liked it. It reminds me of one of my favourite games of all time, which was Freelancer. So when that comes out on the 6th, I'm looking to start a series on that, so probably by now it's been underway for a while. After this, on the 12th of April, there's also another game in early access I've had in my Steam library, is War Tales, which is a series I did early on in the channel, probably almost a year ago now. I did a series of the early access, and it is a great medieval squad tactical type game, very reminiscent of Battle Brothers, which is another game that's I've played for hundreds of hours, but not on the channel. But I did play War Tales early access before, so I'm looking forward to playing the full release of that following this Dredge series. So hopefully, if you enjoyed this, then you might check that out as well, which is just no way of saying that thank you one last time, and I'll see you later. Bye for now.